And there's the chimney is on the edge,
that's the
left
balcony
hand
that
side.
he comes out
Halfway down
of.
on the edge,
This
there's
is
a
not
little
coming out good
pipe,
at all,
that's
though.
the chimney.
Did you get the other one too?
That thing up there, yeah.
Right there.
This building is where the Pope comes out and blesses everybody.
Over there on the right on the top floor.
Second from the right on the top floor.
That's one of the most important things. That's the bad thing. Look at me like I'm crazy.
Hey, D. These are tapestries by Raphael. Look at the detail. The arms, the hands, the veins. I'm going to go back and get the full view of this tapestry. Tapestry is huge. It's really hard to get the whole thing in one shot. Look at that. And this is how they were able to tell how the Romans lived, by all these tapestries and statues. This is the corridor that leads to the Sistine Chapel. I'm going down now. There's more light in here so you can really see the ceiling. Every one of these is painted by a famous artist, Raphael. Look at that. It's like they're all facing the other way. You can't do anything else.
It is allowed. Nobody can do that. So, outside here through those lights, I'm going to tell you about the paintings that you're going to see in the chapel. And in the chapel, I'm going to give you that play time. Allora, here's the chapel here. The very tiny one, little one. Built in the year 1475, commissioned by Pope Sixtus. So here's the name. From Sixtus, Sistine Chapel. As soon as it was built, those artists, Perugino, Pinturicchio, Botticelli, Signorelli, Ghirlandaio, which means la crème de la crème of the Florentine Renaissance school. All these artists have been commissioned to paint the side walls. On one side, 6 pictures about the last judge, the Old Testament, life of Moses. On one side, opposite side, life of Christ, the New Testament. One on the other, done by these artists that was before Michelangelo. Michelangelo was commissioned to paint the ceiling in 1500. Others refused because he said, well, I'm not a painter, I'm not going to do this, I'm not able to. But you know what, in those days, when a pope called, no way to escape it, and even a strong personality like Michelangelo was at what said the papal commission. The ceiling, which is right here, this is the whole ceiling. 6,000 square feet area, upon a height of about 55 feet. Built up scaffolding, which kept him 2 feet away from the ceiling. And standing, lay on his neck like this, in 4 years he did the work up. 1508, 1512. Those are the dates of the Sistine Chapel. Look, 9 pictures,
Almost 500
9
years old.
frescoes, the very heart of the chapel, showing you the Genesis, the creation of the world. God separated light from darkness. God created the planetary system. God separated air from water. This one here, the creation of Adam, very conspicuous of the world. Our Lord, just by touching Adam's finger, gave life to him. The creation of Eve from the rib of the sleeping Adam. The original sin and dispatch from the heaven. the sacrifice of Noah, the universal flood, and the last one here is the drunkenness of Noah. So 9 pictures show you the main acts of the Genesis. All the way around in the triangles there are all the ancestors of Christ, from the house of David to the Virgin Mother. It took Michelangelo 4 years to do it, alone. When I say alone, I mean that nobody could even enter over here when he was walking here. Imagine touching one of his paintings. So he was the one who thought, started, and finalized the whole job all by himself. 1512, he finished. He left Rome, went back to Florence. 24 years later, he was already on his 60s. He was called again to work in here because there was something missing. Why?
Last Judgment.
The decoration of the chapel shows to you the whole Christian theology that you have. Upon the ceiling, the Genesis, the creation of the world. Upon the side walls, you've got the bases, Old and New Testament, right? It was the Last Judgment which was missing. So Michelangelo was commissioned to do this in the year 1535. Jesus is the ideal central point of the whole composition, scaring everybody, calling everybody to the Last Judgment. You see, there's a huge rotation around him made by his gesture. With the right hand, he's calling the good ones to the heaven. The left hand is throwing the bad ones to the hell. You see here the angels fighting against the damned ones to God. Around Christ, all saints and martyrs. Down here, St. Lawrence holding the grill. It was grilled alive in Rome. Next to San Bartholomew holding his skin. It was a skinned alive in Rome. Now, in the face of San Bartholomew's skin here, you can tell Michelangelo's self-portrait here. There's Michelangelo here. Now, there was a cardinal which didn't like Michelangelo at all, was always criticizing him. So Michelangelo couldn't stand this guy any longer. He didn't say anything but took his revenge. How?
Put him in the face.
Here, in the corner, there's a man with a snake all over the body, the ears of a donkey, represented as the doorman of hell. This is the perfect portrait of that cardinal. How about that? Now what happened? All Saints' Day, year 1541, the chapel was inaugurated. In the chapel, the popes or the cardinals looking at the cardinal here, of course, laughing about it. As you can imagine, the cardinal himself got furious. He went straight to the Pope telling him, no, Pope is too much. So why don't you commission Michelangelo at least to take my face off? And the Pope, which loved Michelangelo very much, replied, well, Cardinal, if Michelangelo puts you down the purgatory, you know, I'm a Pope, the couple of prayers, I may have helped you. But since Michelangelo put you down the hell, you know perfectly, popes have no power, so forget about it. That's why I'm still here. Huh? 5 years to do it, 4 years for the ceiling. That's Michelangelo work of art inside the chapel. Since Michelangelo did it, he's working here, of course, has got the authority of evidence. Even on those days, but even nowadays, artists coming over here to study Michelangelo anatomy, to study Michelangelo's technique over here. Chapel is being cleaned up. You see why? Because the chapel was lit up for about 500 years with oil lamps, with candles, which made the dark patina all over. Few details. Our Lord before and after the cleaning. You see what the difference? I got a clue.
Wow,
you see up
beautiful.
here, these rectangular spots have been left uncleaned, so you can tell the difference. So it was all this dirty all the way through.
Look at that.
See? Now this is very important. You're gonna enter the chapel through this door over here, right? The chapel does not end where you see this marble rail. It's larger. In the chapel, I'll give you free time. Going towards the chapel, I show to you the way to go to the washrooms too, in case some of you need to get there. Now, free time in here. We're gonna meet at what time, I'll tell you later, so we're gonna be by. But the meeting point, I'll tell you right now. And we're gonna meet right
This is the
Get a
base.
shot right there.
And if you look down to the left is the creek. This is
Typical building in Naples. This is where people live. All high rises. No one-family homes. No two-family homes. No three-family homes.
We're going to come out on the waterfront in a few minutes so you can really get some nice pictures. We'll stop so you can get out a minute and take some pictures. It's a pretty spot.
Vesuvius in there.
And the Vesuvius is in front of you. And there is, do you want to see Isla Capri? Look out, straight out to the right. You see that island? It looks like a girl, the bust line of a girl, her hair floating in the water, her face and her hair. Look, from left is the bust line, then comes the face and the hair floating to the right. Do you see it?
Look at this.
That's Capri. That's what we figured.
Where is she sitting?
I hope these pictures come out. This is the Bay of Naples. Vesuvius. I'm doing a terrible job. And there's all these people on the rail are all people that are on the tour with us. They're all very nice. And there's more of Naples in the background. Look at it. Naples is huge. Huge city. It is a big city, but I'm not really impressed with it. It's very, New York kind of. Where's Michael? Oh, there you are. Hi, hon.
Hey, what's going on? Here, take me this way.
Okay.
Right in front of
Right in front of what?
Mount Vesuvius.
Yeah, the two biggest eruptors, Mount Vesuvius and Michael's Coulee.
What are you going to do?
That's Mount Vesuvius there behind Dee Dee. Just like you, honey.
This is a rooftop of someone's home by the Bay of Naples. This is the rooftop.
Well, we have time to get them when we come back.
You will, but you're only going to get local ones soon. You can't get other areas. Yeah, well, right by the juice place, there's a stand. Right there.
Anytime, I'll tell you a little. Pompeii a pre-Roman town. Already 700 years before the birth of Christ, around the main square, we find the first news of happening to local people. They were called Osci people, Campanian people. The etymology of Pompeii derives from the Osci language, Pompe, which means five. So 5 villages around the main square. Then around 6th century before Christ in Pompeii, we find the presence of Greeks. The Greeks, they start first on the island of Ischia, and then little by little, they occupy the entire Gulf of Naples.
That's Mount Vesuvius. This is really some of Pompeii here. We're going to go inside.
Don't waste a lot of film on it.
Because during the evening, when the moon was up, they reflected the moonlight. They illuminated street and sidewalks, street lights, cat's eyes. So today, that we find on motor roads all along, reflectors.
Yeah. Something?
Today, normally in the center of the town, we find a square. Securely around the square, we find a church, city hall, marketplace. So, religious, political, commercial center of the town. So this is the Foro Romano from the last Pompeian period. Of course, to appreciate the square, we have to use our imagination and think how it looked 2,000 years ago. In the last period, the whole square was all paved with travertine, as you can see on the ground, between marble and stone. So it was all white. Doric and above Ionic. Above it was a corridor, the ambulatorium. In a rainy day, Pompeian people could walk around this colonnade because it ran around on three sides of the square. The fourth side in front of us, like a Campidoglium, was closed by the temple of Jupiter, the king of gods. A typical Italic temple with a double stairs in front. Commerce with all the Mediterranean and the Orient. Also in the Roman period, the commercial language was Greek language. Children at school at the same time used to study Greek and Latin. At the head of the market was a lady with the name of Eumachia, it's written on the right hand side there. The etymology derives from the Greek, Eumachia, good, great lady. In effect, she was. If we consider that during Greek period, the women were almost segregated, they lived apart from men. But this lady in town was so able to put together some sort of union. When they started the excavation, most of the marble that was here, when we reached the house of people living around this area, they did not give great importance to the ancient monuments. They employed the marble, not considering the great damage that they caused to the ancient monuments. Close the square del Trionfalo Arch, dedicated to the Emperor Tiberius. As well, Tiberius lived in the period of Christ, and the last years of his lifetime we find stepping stones. Romans were very clever and practical people. So when they had to cross the street, they would not go down and then go up again on the sidewalk. But in a rainy day, being there no sewers all over town, so streets were in under rainwater, they used to cross the street above the stepping stone without wearing shoes and sandals. And on the ground, where the lady standing there, on both sides, on the ground. It's pretty
From Maloik. We use the horn, they use the pichadillo.
What's it for?
Ward away evil spirits.
Yeah, that'll ward away.
That'll ward away it.
Lucio, and then on both sides, the snake symbol and mortality. Behind here, we have a small kitchen with some original cooking pots. Cooking pots in bronze, sometimes in copper and tin. And then again, behind the kitchen, a little room called Venerium after Venus, the goddess of love. In this little room, 3 panels with erotic paintings and other pictures like the one we saw at the entrance this time in March. Last day, we had really terrible restoration. You have one color here, one color here. This is the restoration. This is one.
You sure know how to hurt a guy, don't you?
That's in glass.
Yeah, eat your hearts
No, I
out.
wouldn't bother now because you're inside there. But you could try it if it comes out.
We're working on the excavation still.
The barocco, the Roman paintings, picture the color di dita, imitation of marble, prospetti, mythological subject, and many decora di dita. The prospetti that you find here is not rinascimento prospetti codified by Brunelleschi or Jean Menard, which is perfectly.
A lot of the rooms were small, so they would put these pictures on the walls to make the rooms look a lot bigger than they actually were. These are the original paintings. Yeah, this is a view from the top of the funiculare in Capri. Again, that's Mount Vesuvius back there. Right there, and that's Naples. This is the Bay of Naples. Beautiful. The village below.
Movie camera, that's the best. We should have bought our movie camera.
Right? Yeah, we always had one.
It's the best.
Okay, if you're not taking a picture, get out of the way.
He's in charge. Oh, I'm sorry.
Any day now.
There is a small church at the end of the road.
Take a tour bus for that.
Yes.
We did it on the Isle, on the Canadian Island. Similar to this.
Another perspective.
Yeah, we were there last month.
This is the tracks for the funiculare. See, it pulls the cable car all the way up the hill, all the way from down in the city, which is all the way down there. Marina. Yeah, I'll just give you a little flavor of some of the signs here. Here you go, see if you can translate that. Pizza tutte le ore. What happened?
They have 2 bathrooms, and they have like 40 women standing in line, and you gotta pay 500 lira.